Parmesano remains steady. Good morning, Minneapolis. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Minneapolis, on-site public media. I'm your host, Toussaint Morrison. In the words of Tyrone Koppel, it's all good. In obvious news today, if you're learning about reform schools, you're not learning about indigenous history, you're learning about white history. In our headlines today, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and in the case of capitalism, it can make the wallet go thinner. One of the largest healthcare sector strikes ended. Over 75,000 Kaiser Permanente employees, nurses, medical technicians, and support staff briefly went on strike to address low levels of staffing at hospitals and clinics, as well as higher wages. Under federal rules, the Kaiser Permanente employees could only strike for 3 days, and they returned with no resolution. Unlike Walgreens pharmacists, Erie News now writes, many pharmacy staff members have told CNN that they plan to call out sick in solidarity, and CNN spoke with some stores that reported much of their staff had called out on Monday, leaving them severely understaffed. Many other pharmacy employees posted to social media that they were walking out. So pharmacists walked out for 3 days and maybe more, citing management focuses too much on profit and facing constant disruptions to their workflow that prevent them from making decisions about how appropriate a treatment might be for a particular patient. Management focused on profit in this economy? I never. Why is this important? Because pharmacists are essential healthcare workers. CVS pharmacists recently walked off as well and still haven't come to a resolution. The real question is, do you want to see a city go without Adderall, birth control, or albuterol for a month? The answer is no. Regardless of what your condition is, a week delay in any of these prescriptions could be life or death. And now that the distributors in business with these pharmacy companies, who are already reaping the rewards of overpricing medication and lack of price control in a post-pandemic world, are being asked to simply be more employee focused. I mean, if you think about it, that's what most of these strikes have been about. Treat your workers with compassion and let's get back to business. Unless it's for Tim Gurner, this guy.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view.
No, we're not going to go back to work for him. In fact, if any wage theft, malpractice, or just any injustice workers-wise happens in the near future, you can almost entirely charge it to Tim Gurner getting on camera and showing his whole ass. Speaking of getting back to work and make that money, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is obligating city workers to work 3 days instead of 2 from the physical office space, most likely in downtown Minneapolis. I'd tell Jacob to do the same thing, but then he'd probably call the park police to violently remove that encampment out of the park and out of his sight. Jacob said he was going to end houselessness, but who knew he just wanted to make Minneapolis look like there was no houselessness. And now he's telling y'all city employees to come back downtown. Come on back downtown and work from the office. Go get lunch somewhere downtown. Hey, get that slice of pizza. Oh, my friend owns that gyro store. Go get lunch over there. Hey, happy hour. Get drunk after work. And remember 2019 when you trusted me? Man, those are great times, weren't they? And this is the play. When your downtown is going out of business because of a pandemic and international uprising, the nearest spending is the people mandated to work there. The Minneapolis writes, Frey referenced research that suggests in-person work increases the likelihood of inventions, patents, and new business concepts, and thus Minneapolis' ability to stay on the cutting edge. He also hinted at benefits for restaurants and retailers, referencing his fond memories of just hanging out with friends, co-workers, or loved ones downtown. I wonder if any of those fond memories include when thousands marched through it demanding accountability for the no-knock warrant policy he said he put into action and never did. And who's in charge of turning around downtown Minneapolis? Well, it's none other than the Vibrant Downtown Storefronts Work Group, who includes Jeff Johnson, the executive of the Minneapolis Convention Center, former Mayor R.T. Ryback, CEO of the Minneapolis Foundation, Joanna Hicks, CEO of Element Commercial Real Estate, and oh, there she is, Lisa Goodman, Ward 7 City Council member. So the mayor is trying to bring back business to downtown by taking it right back out of the pockets of its own employees. It's almost like the city is paying itself. Speaking of going backwards, although the elections are over, we couldn't help but notice a few Minneapolis City Council candidates did political moonwalks from things they may have said or liked in 2020, just small stuff like calling for the abolition of police and defunding police departments. These candidates then advocated for a comprehensive public safety system requiring police. Axios writes, deleted tweets show Minneapolis Council candidates shift on police issues. Axios cites a now deleted tweet from Chowdhury reading, if you're not for abolition of the police at this point, you really have some deep work to do. Time and time again, reforms fail. Police and safety cannot coexist in Minneapolis. However, in a recent Star Tribune survey, Chowdhury said she has consistently stated that I support funding the amount needed to get us to the mandatory minimum number of officers. My goodness, that swung like the tail on a happy golden retriever. I want to say, watch the campaign change every time they switch lanes, or If you want to go to City Hall with me, smoke a L in the back of the Benzie E. Oh, why did I delete that tweet? A, must be the money. Hi, I'm Toussaint Morrison with On-Site Public Media. Has your loved one been in opposition to law enforcement since or before 2020? Perhaps they've even said things like F12 or ACAB. We here have found the exact thing that will turn them around in no time. A DFL endorsement. You see, the right may love law enforcement until it gets between them and overthrowing an entire U.S. Capitol, but the left, although they can denounce racist cops murdering black people, it's not economically sound for them to totally abolish the police. Hey, get that ACAB out of here with DFL endorsement. It's where your loved one can use the word progressive, but not have to be progressive. DFL endorsement, because change isn't going to happen overnight. But Irene isn't the only candidate to flip it and reverse it. Her election rival, Luther Ronheim, did a similar thing too. Axios writes, a screenshot of his personal account, now private, shows him liking a 2022 post declaring, reform is worse than useless. Burn this department to the ground and rake the ashes. In a statement, Ronheim blamed clumsy thumbs, saying he may have inadvertently liked a couple tweets while scrolling social media on my phone. He said he opposed the 2021 MPD overhaul measure and has been consistent in supporting both hiring more police and expanding alternative responses. Luther, burn this department to the ground and rake the ashes. Don't tempt me with the good time now. My theory was what really tipped Luther to click on that tweet was the raking part. Guys, I'm all for burning this police department down, but could we at least clean it up a little bit after we do it? Luther Ronheim, he may have clicked like on a tweet calling for anarchy and lawn care, but now he's just about the lawn care. I also love how Luther's like, oops, my clumsy thumbs clicked on that anarchy tweet. Bro, come on now. Luther, stop lying, dog. You know you like the spice. You know you saw the pictures. You're like, oh man, history in the making. I wish I would have been at the 3rd precinct. Oh, well, next best thing, click like on this tweet. Come on, don't lie, Luther. We know what it is, okay? And Luther and Irene aren't alone. Over half the Minneapolis City Council stood on a stage in 2020 in Powderhorn Park calling for the defunding and dismantling of the Minneapolis Police Department and then voted to have millions go back to the cops. This is really a common thing where an elected official says one thing, does another, and then says they didn't mean that thing that they said. Jacob Fry does it all the time. If Jacob says he's going to do something, you should expect him to do the complete opposite and then hold a press conference on how well he didn't do that thing. But out of all these people, you know who's kept it a buck for almost 10 years? You know who's been standing on business? Lene Palmisano. Guys, she was the only person to vote for that burnt down precinct to be rebuilt in the exact same spot. The final embers of that building fell, and she said, did I stutter? She saw numerous people come into City Hall demanding arsenic not be floated into the air of East Phillips, and you know what she did? She said, get these paid protesters out of my office. She keeps it funky. And if Lene could have Ward 13 secede from the city to become East Edina, she just might do it. Times change. Opinions evolve. But Palmisano remains steady. That'll do it for us here at On-Site Public Media. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Click on that link below to support this show and more shows like this. Go to onsitepublicmedia.com for more stories from us. And hey, justice, then peace.